complaining. Have y'all ever been in a situation where there's no complaining? Have you? Isn't that peaceful? I always say this. When you can go home, think about this. Kids are quiet. They're smiling. When you walk in, your wife is saying, "Hey, darling, how are you doing?" Everything is going smooth and there's peace. And there's unity. And you're moving forward. During this fire, there's disaster going on. Everything is going on. But behind these walls, you saw government. You saw community. You saw every part working together as a whole. Because if you thought about it, you would say, no, how should government work? All right? You would say people should work together. We should be unified. There shouldn't be any division. We should do what's best for people. Wouldn't we say that? Isn't that what we want? When I came in this convention center, that's what I saw. Everybody working together. There was no fragmentation. There was no pointing of the fingers. And what happened was, when everybody came together like that, we were able to save lives. We were able to get things accomplished. You know what I did? During that time, I took notes. I said, the thing that is bringing us through the fire is going to be the thing that brings us through recovery. The same type of unity that we had. The same type of togetherness. Everybody coming together to say, I know it's a fire going on out there, but how can we work together to save lives? And what happens is, a lot of times, when we go through something, it brings out the best in us. Am I right, Ronnie? It says competition brings out the what? The best in you. Stress. But it's this. When you go through an incident like that, you have to work together. I want to thank Mike. I know a lot of times we've done a lot of things. I want to thank Mike Fisher. Mike, stand up real quick. Mike is going to get on me for that because Mike is going to say, Judge, Mike doesn't like recognition. Mike just does a job. But like I said, when you're going through a situation, you got to know who's around you. And the dedication and the planning and all the things and the relationships that Mike put in with folks. And I'm not saying it was just Mike. And Mike will tell you that. We had people from every branch of government working together. From the county to the city to the state. All working together. And one thing I learned, when you're going through a tough situation, you can't have envy, you can't have strife, and you can't have discord. You can't have those different things. Because if I'm going through a major situation in my life, and I'm trying to see what's next, what I want to see is, I want to see a vision, I want to see a plan, and I want to see unity. I want to see my government, the people in leadership saying, this is the way we're going to go, and this is how we're going to do it. That's what I want to see. I want to see a unified command. Am I right? Because we want to see, this is where we're going. And this is what I lack. That's what we have to focus on as a community. And when you see strife, and when you see discord, and when you see people upset, you have to be a calming force. You can't go up to somebody who's going through turmoil and say, yeah, well, it's so this bad. It's going to get worse. It's going to get worse, man. We don't, you know what? We don't have a plan. Those folks are great. You don't need that, do you? Do you? How many folks want somebody to come in your house and everything is going bad and they want to sit up and tell you, man, this really is bad. Nobody wants that. You want somebody to come together and say, how can I help? How can I bring something? How can I unify? And in Bastrop County, that's what we're going to do. That's what it's about today. Today is about setting a vision of where we're going to go as a community. It's about bringing all the pieces together and saying we can work together. Now, we can't be naive. There's going to be hard times, or there are going to be struggles. Yeah. But I heard something a long time ago. I didn't understand it, but I understand it when I'm going through the fire. It says, whatever things are lovely, whatever things are kind, dwell on those things. I heard that. I was like, man, what does that mean? That means think about the positive stuff. Set a vision. Somehow we can move forward. But when you see negative, say, how am I going to pull positive out of negative? How can I bring my best to this situation? During this fire, y'all, I'm telling you, I'm bragging on what happened in this wall. People brought their best. And because they brought their best, lives were changed. Now, folks from the outside, a lot of times, they'll ask me, I know something bad had to happen. You know? Tell me what you learned from it. What are the bad things? And sometimes they'll even probe for it. Have you seen people probe for negativity? Have y'all ever seen that? There's got to be something bad around here. There's got to be something. I'm going to go back to the story. It was so funny. Tell them what I'm going over now. And when I was a little kid, not when I was a little kid, when I was with my kids, one of my kids was sick. There was this story came on. It was called A Little Mermaid. Have y'all ever seen The Little Mermaid? Now, The Little Mermaid, they were all in the sea, and she had, everybody was peaceful, and she had, everybody was singing on one accord. Oh, it was a beautiful sound. But then all of a sudden, as I was watching The Little Mermaid, there came this big stingray. And this big stingray was sitting up there, and he said, I don't like this. And it began to look around, and it says, how can I stop this? You know what he did? He began to look around, and he saw everything was going smooth, but then he began to look at it, and he came up to the seahorse. He said, seahorse, you know what? They don't respect you. You know what? You sing way better than they sing. They're not giving you what you need. And the seahorse said, yeah, they're not giving me what I need. Stingray looked, and he went on over there, and he came to the turtle. Judge, I'm not calling you a turtle. I'm just using you. Don't get mad. And he began to talk to the turtle. Said, turtle, they're not respecting you. They're not giving you everything you need. And the turtle said, yeah, they're not giving me everything I need. And the stingray went to the next person and the next. And all of a sudden, then the Little Mermaid came back. And the Little Mermaid came back. Hey, how y'all doing? It was like, ah, let's sing. It was all like that. And the Little Mermaid said, what happened? And the stingray was just as happy as all get out. But you know what the Little Mermaid had to do then? What do y'all think?
Bring out the positive?
Huh?
Bring out the positive?
This is what the Little Mermaid did. It had to go all the way back over to the seahorse and say, seahorse, you know what? You're special. We can't do this without you. You know how great you are? You make this thing flow. Without you, we can't do it. And the seahorse had to do it. Then the Little Mermaid had to go spend some time with the turtle. Turtle. And she went through all the different branches and told them how important they were. And then they brought them all back together. And guess what happened? They sang. Thank you, man. You good. You know what I'm saying? I want to take you with me. You know, just. But they all began to sing the same song, and it was a harmony, and it sounded good. Now, they were still all different, but they all bought into that whatever they brought to the sea brought a beautiful sound. What is that saying about Bastrop County? Everybody is unique. Everybody has something to bring. Everybody has something that they can do to help people change their lives to make it better. And we're here today to begin to do that. And this doesn't have to be, oh, Judge, that's just a great speech. That's not, it was real world. During that fire, we did that. We came together. We unified. It wasn't time to sit up there and fight and talk about what we couldn't do. It was time to talk about what we could do. Now we sit here as Bastrop County getting ready to move forward. I am happy to be here. But I have to tell myself every day, because we're going to come against challenges. Folks are going to tell you, you're not doing this right, you're not doing that right. You write it down and say, how can I make improvements? But at the end of the day, you have to say, how can we all come together to make this the best effort that we've had? I want folks to say the Bastrop recovery was the best recovery I've ever seen. I've never seen the community work together the way Bastrop County did. I mean, when folks come from the outside, and Mike, this is what happened. When folks came from all around the country, from all the different fire departments, you know what they said? They said there's something special about Bastrop County. That's what they said. They said, when I walk through, it's something special about this community. Even though they're burned out, all this stuff has happened, they're still coming forward to say, how can I help? You know, as a county judge, I sat back and said, wow. Now, I'm a fifth-generation Bastropian. I grew up walking these streets. My ancestors walked these streets. And I know that there's something special about this. How many of y'all just came to Bastrop? I've been here about 5, 6 years. Raise your hand. Is there something special about Bastrop? It is? We all know it. And we all bring it together, y'all. So, as we get ready, get close. Just like kids. As we get ready to move forward, as we move towards recovery, I'm not saying we're all going to make mistakes. The county is going to make mistakes. Government, state, individuals are going to make mistakes. Understand something, but this is how that works. When that happens, don't get up there and be the stingray and just go and say, it's terrible, it's terrible, it's terrible, it's terrible. Be like the Little Mermaid. The Little Mermaid pulled them aside and said, guess what? This is how we can improve. This is how we can work together. This is how we can go to the next level. This is how the resources, see, this is what's going to make Bastrop County great. This is cool. How many of y'all just moved here? Where'd you come from? Austin. What's your background? Have you been in government? Huh? All your life, right? So she brings something to Bastrop that is going to be valuable. She's seen what happened in Austin. Where are you from? Houston. You know, you've seen the floods and all that stuff happen. Bring something valuable. Where are you from? Washington, D.C., Dallas. All around. Everybody's coming to Bastrop. They're here. So therefore, let's say, I've been here for 5 generations, man. I'm country sometimes. You can help me out. There's a little country on that. You might want to look at this. I can accept it, right, Fran? Fran, what's your background?
I'm a social worker.
Social worker. So you bring what you have. All of us bring all these expertise, and we set an example like no one else has seen. Can we do that? Now, I'm not trying to be a cheerleader.
Just did.
But you got to recognize the time. You got to recognize the opportunity. This is an opportunity for us as a community to rebuild, for us to have a better tomorrow, for us to have beauty for ashes, for something to come out of this. Now, this is the deal. We can do all this motivational stuff, but some folks have lost their house. They're saying, Judge, I hear all that, but you didn't go through what I've been through. You didn't get out of there, nothing but the clothes on your back. You didn't go through that. How do I recover? I say, well, that's right. I didn't go through that, but I did with you because you're a part of my community. And I want to make sure, how many of y'all remember those old Westerns? Do y'all remember that? In the old Western days, frontier days, when they began to build, man, this is what they did. It wasn't just, I'm building on my house. If a house was going to be built, guess what happened? The whole community came and said, we're going to build this house. And once we built that house, they went to the next house, to the next house, to the next house, to the next house. A community built that house. You know what was so important about that? Once you take some time and you work in building something, it takes on a special meaning, all right? That's not just Joe's house. That is the house that I helped build. My daddy was a carpenter. And when we rolled through Austin, every building he saw, I had to hear this speech. Boy, I remember we started out building that building, and it was this foundation. He was a union carpenter. But I saw something in what he said. He took value in every building that he worked on. Bastrop County, the families that have lost everything, they're looking for hope. They're looking for a community. They want to see unity. They want to see a vision. Let's work together as a community to provide that vision. Where we see weak spots, let's work together to make that strong. Let's be an example. Let's don't be government as usual. I don't care if you're Republican. I don't care if you're Democrat. I don't care if you're Asian, black, white, Puerto Rican. I don't care. None of that matters here. Because just like the Little Mermaid, we're going to all sing the same song. And it's going to be a song of becoming a victim.